start playing the video. Thanks, Tina. Welcome, everyone. And as you all know that at Vinaya Commission School of Economics and Public Policy, we really do not do different things, but we do things differently. And that really differentiates us from the rest of the world. So today is a very special day. Why? You will come to know in a while. Nonetheless, uh, first of all, a formal good evening to each and every one. You see, when we talk about, basically, we are an Institute of Economics and Public Policy. So in the study of economics and public policy, we often begin with numbers, models, and frameworks. Of course, these are tools that help us make sense of the world. The problem is, if we stop there, we risk, we risk missing the most important part, the people. And behind every statistic is a name, a face, a voice, a story of someone who has lived through the very systems we try to understand and improve. Stories, breathe life into our learning. Every class probably is a storytelling session. Every lecture probably is a storytelling session in some way or the other. Because they reveal the struggles behind the policies, the resilience that survives in spite of them, and the courage it takes to move forward when the odds are stacked against you. They remind us that policy is not merely about governance, it's about dignity, dreams, and the simple human desire to thrive. Today, as I said, our journey from Afghanistan to India is not just a tale of crossing borders, but of breaking barriers, social, political, and personal. Often we talk about Malala, whose name has become a global symbol of resilience and hope. Jamila too stood tall in the face of adversity, even if the world hasn't yet heard her name. I'm sure none of you in this platform might have heard about her before this session. And this is precisely why this moment matters. Because for every Malala the world knows, There are countless others like Jamila, whose stories of courage, persistence, and triumph often go untold. These are the stories that help us see the human side of policy. They compel us to ask better questions, make fairer choices, and work toward a world where justice is not just written in law but lived in reality. Jamila's life is a quiet revolution. It's a testament to the power of education, the strength of will, and the change that begins when someone refuses to give up. She stands as a reminder that heroes don't always wear caps or appear in headlines. You know, Sometimes they walk beside us gently, powerfully, and with unwavering purpose. With this note, it is with great admiration and heartfelt warmth that myself and the Vinayaka Mission School of Economics and Public Policy welcomes Jamila to this space. We are grateful for your presence, Jamila, and honored to hear your journey. So, we will keep this session a little informal so that we can listen to her and make her comfortable while she delivers, while she tells her story. So over to you, Jamila, if you want to say something before we shoot our questions and queries to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm very glad today that, first of all, very nice to meet you, Dibdulal sir. So when Tina played the background and display, I just, for some second, I went to Pune and remind all my student life and memories and good memories in India in 2028 until 2020. And when I left India, so I have some presentation first. I want to share that, but uh, do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it reminds me my memories in India, and I'm very happy and successful and grateful for the opportunity from the Abdullah sir that given me this opportunity to share my experience and the challenges, the difficulties, and the overcoming times that I made it to happen and make it to come into US. It is really great pleasure that someone make it really, and for me that it's an achievement. It is an achievement for me. It was a difficult time, it was a tough time, it was really difficult because it took like 3 years for me to make it happen, but still I'm struggling. But it is really great that and I appreciate this moment. So I hope everyone doing well. I'm not focusing on numbers and data, but I'm focusing on my journeys. I try to focus on rebuilding my career, but mostly I'm focusing from journey from Kabul to US, and from what I got from that point was thinking outside of the box. So from the college, when we go from the college to the career, is it a transition for all the students? But for me, it is very different because I started my career when I was a school student, when I was in 10th grade. I started with teaching English, and I was the first woman English teacher in my hometown. So I was in ninth grade and I started teaching. So my career started there. And then I continue when I was at university, and I continue with the internship when I was in India. So in 2020, when I came back from India, it was COVID-19. We all faced COVID-19. It was quarantine, and we all were at home. After that, in 2021, so in 2021, I got just a job. So I was the leader of social organizer at Kabul. I was working as a leader of social organizer, which was a very big project and funded by World Bank. Under each project, which that project was helping the poor families which was vulnerable from the COVID-19. And I started teaching at a private university, which was a good university at Kabul, which called Katib University. It was my new career after a master degree, after traveling from Afghanistan to India. But that didn't last a lot. It was like only 6 months. And we again faced the quarantine. It was fall of Kabul. But it was again the challenges. But for all the students, it is not the same. It is different. It is a transition. Maybe for you, it is very different. It is a transition from college to career. Or maybe some of you are working part-time. But still, it is a transition because it is the student life and the professional life is very different. And you have to be prepared for that. Because why you have to be prepared for that? Because you will face some key challenges like lack of experiences, job competition, and the industry expectations. So what will help you to get success in this challenges? It will be your knowledge, your experience, your network that you build during your. So what I do strongly believe is a smart goal. And I always use this SMART goal in my life. It doesn't matter when I am applying a scholarship to India, it was not an easy step. It was also difficult. It was very competitive because it was full funded scholarship. It was very competitive. I had to apply for different scholarships and I had to be prepared for the rejections. So I had many goals. So I suggest for all students, for everyone to have many goals, like different goals, not focus on one goal. Why? Because when you guys focus on, if you, for example, have one goal, so you got rejection. So what will happen? You will be disappointed and you will be stressed. So you cannot focus. But when you have many goals, so okay, if I do not get A, I will get B. If I do not get B, I will get C. So if I not get C, so I have the ability to rebuild a new goal. So I will be resilience. It will improve my adaptability. I will learn through the process and I will be open for the rejections, for the everything. And I will learn through the process that rejection and everything is like, it is a learning experience. It is not something end of the world. So what I do believe strongly said that I found this belief when I was applying for a scholarship. It was government scholarship. It was like international scholarships, but government scholarships needs a lot of references, which I didn't have a lot of connections. For example, you must have a connection with a minister. So I didn't have that. So it means that you have to have another goal. You have to have belief for something else. So I tried international scholarships. And I believe that do your best, whatever you do, when you study for a test, when you apply for a job, when you going for a competition, do your best and do not depend yourself to the result. Never depend yourself to the result. When you do your best, so this is the experience. This is what you want from life. So confront the challenges, accept situation and challenges, because we all, maybe my situation is where the crisis is a crisis. Maybe your problem is as big as your problem. But you have to accept that in every part of our life, we will face some challenges, some competition, some expectations. So we have to accept it, but not an excuse. I remember that the Bilasser was asking me that, Jamila, apply your mind. So if I don't accept this situation, I will not be able to apply my mind. I will not be able to focus on my talent, on my qualification. I will lose my confidence. So when I accept the situation, when I understand, okay, there is competition, there is crisis. Even in US now, the Trump administration lay off 100 workers every day. So it doesn't mean that they shouldn't apply for another job. Everyone is searching for another job. They have a lot of qualifications. So they are not depending on Trump administration. They are depending on their own qualifications. So use your connection. And I will share some of my experience here, that how I used my connection when Kabul failed, or ask for help. Use your connection. What I mean with this, for some students, maybe it will be difficult, but still, for example, I will give you a very simple example. For example, you're a student and one of your professor knows you very well. You may not be very good at all courses, but one of your professor may know you very well. So you can ask for recommendation from that professor. I did that because when I was applying at UK universities, I asked from my professors at Pune University, at Symbiosis University, to provide me recommendation, and they provided me very strong recommendation, and I got that admission. So ask for help. Ask for help means it is not easy for us to ask for help. It is maybe something that we don't know about ourselves. Sometimes we don't know. It is very simple thing, but we don't know about ourselves. But we see that some of the students, they are very good. They have very good grade. They have very good GPA. They have very good like writing, communication skills, analysis skills, or they are very good at R, Stata, and they are very good at Excel and everything, but still they are not accepting a career. They are not going for the first step of career, which is interview. And they don't know what is the problem. Maybe their CV is not very well because it's too short, or it's very long, or maybe they included unrelated information. So here you need to ask for help. Ask someone that what is a professional CV, how to write a professional CV, and what to include, or how a CV can convince the employers to shortlist you for the next step, which is interview. Maybe you're the one that convinced the employer in the interview, but your CV cannot convince them for that step. So here you need to ask for help. Be open for the different opportunity. This point is very, very important, because when we are economists, we always searching for, especially when our major is research, we always search for our major. But I think when we are economists, so every company, every department, every organization, they need an accountant, they need an administrative person, they need a person to know Excel or accounting parts. So you can look different options. So I will share my experience that how all these helps me through the process. So here, fall of Kabul. It was on 15 August. It is called Black Day of Afghanistan. It was in 2021. What happened? So we, as a human, lost our basic human rights. You all know what is basic human rights. Education, rights to education, right to work, right to choose what to wear, where to go, where to not go, right to drive, right to travel, but we lost all in one night. Losing years of education. So I had a master's degree, and thousands of girls in Afghanistan like had that master's degrees and years of educations. They lost. Because why they lost that? Because they were not allowed to go outside the home. They lost their jobs. We all lost our jobs. We were locked at home. And also at risk because we were women rights activists. We had master degrees. We were human rights activists. We worked for democracy. So we were at risk. And the other was dark and unknown future. So we didn't see anything. We didn't see literally anything. It was like when it's night and you don't know. So when it's night, so we know it will be morning. But in Kabul, what happened? It was night, but we didn't know if it will be morning or not. So it was a closed box. It was a jail that we lost everything. And still, the girls in Afghanistan, they don't have these rights. Still, Afghanistan is the only country in the world that they don't have right to education. The women don't have right to work. So all what we had, we lost everything. So in that situation, I personally had two choices. I could not change the government because it was already transformed. The Kabul was already fall down. Taliban already took over. So what I could do, I had two choices. I could, okay, Kabul fall down, I stay home. Whatever they say, I obey whatever they say. And I don't work. I just stay alive. It's fine. It was an stressing, or maybe all what this is the first choice that I had. And the second choice, okay, this is a box, like this box. And Afghanistan is like a box for me. And I can think out of this box. And there is millions opportunities out of this box. Why I thought there is out of millions opportunities out of this box for me? Because I had the education, I had the experience, I had the language, I had the way I can think, I had the education to think the way that I can think differently. So, and I had the ability to approach the challenges from a different and a fresh perspective. So that helped me to think differently and decide differently. I said with myself, okay, so now it happened. What is the solution for me? What is my qualification? What is the way to get out of this situation? So I decided to change my life at that time. So I had difficult time I couldn't travel at that time by myself because Taliban were not allowed girls to travel alone from the airport. And I was at the evacuation list, but it was fraud. A lot of other people evacuated instead of us, in our name. So the evacuation process ended and we were not evacuated. Okay, the evacuation process ended, and and also the other things that happened at that time, because it was not suddenly, fall of Kabul was not suddenly. We already know that maybe it happened, but we didn't know it happened too soon. It was very, very soon because they given like 3 months or 4 months, but it happened in a week, like very soon. So I applied for some PhD programs the day before Kabul fall. So I got my result that I was accepted at Turkish Manas University for my PhD. But I couldn't travel because it was banned, that the visa for Afghans was banned. And no, the country was not providing visas for Afghans. So they suggested me to take leave for a year. So I took leave from that program for my PhD program. Okay, I took leave and I sit with myself and thought, what is the way to get out of this situation? So like this, think out of the box. I list all my options. So the only option I could find traveling to Pakistan. Because from Pakistan, I could get other opportunities. I was not able to get opportunities from Afghanistan. Because I got the opportunities, I couldn't travel. So it was another obstacle. So that's why I convinced my parents, my dad, my mom, to let's go to Pakistan. So whatever we have. So my dad was worried how we will survive there. So I told him that I will get a job there. I will have a job maybe. Or I will apply for a scholarship, that full funded scholarship, and have a stipend that I can support you. And my sisters were studying at American universities and they had some stipend. They can support our families a little bit. So yeah, he was worried about that, how we could survive in Pakistan. But still, we left everything in Kabul and went to Pakistan. But still, went to Pakistan was not an easy, because my passport was expired. It was very tough, but we are going to not discuss that, but let's focus on how this thinking outside the box helped me and will help you. And what is the benefit of thinking outside the box in your career or in your personal life, in your educational life? When you are thinking out of the box, you are pushing yourself for a growth. You're pushing yourself to learn. You encourage yourself to explore. Because when you are thinking out of the box, you see opportunities, you see lights, and you found the confidence and qualifications in yourself. Because I thought with myself that, okay, Taliban don't need my qualification in Afghanistan, but there are a lot of people outside Afghanistan that they need my education, they need my experience, they want my experience. So it increased my confidence, it increased my hopes, and it increased my options to think differently and not stress Of course, it was a stressful time, but it helped me to focus. And even if you are in your career, when you are thinking outside of the box, so it helps you to improve, because employers, they're looking for people that they solve the problems in a different way, and in a different, or you offer them to solve problems in a different perspective. So it helps you in each stage. So how to cultivate outside the box thinking? Embrace curiosity. It means be open to new experience and always ask what if. So don't ask yourself what if I reject. Ask yourself what if I get this opportunity. What if I get this? What if I do? So, like, interact with different people with different background. Here, when I arrived in US, I was looking for my major. Okay, I have economics. I have master degree in economics, but when I was meeting people, they were lawyer, they were doctors, they were different people. So I never met an economist in Indiana, especially. So I try to meet them even in different background. Okay, it's fine. And challenge your assumptions. Ask yourself whether the way you are approaching a problem is the best. So when you are facing a challenge, ask yourself, is it the best way, or is it the only way you have? So sometimes when you challenge your assumptions, you may find the best way. And practice thinking out of the box. Allow for failure. Failure is something that when you are thinking outside the box, you are getting ready for that, because you understand that when you are not afraid of that. If I afraid of the failure, I would never apply for a scholarship in India or in Kyrgyzstan or in UK or in Germany. So I applied for all scholarship around the world, and I was not depend myself to the result. And breaking free from the limitations, overcome mental barriers. So when you're thinking outside the box, the only things that you can do for yourself is your mental barrier. When you break your mental barrier, you will break any obstacle, any challenges in life. And we always hear that from everyone around the world. And whenever we listen to motivational speech, we hear that. But how we can break this? We need to practice. Think outside the box, list our qualifications, list our experience, accept our challenges, confront with our challenges, and take the risk. So risk taking is very important, because when you don't take the risk, it is not thinking out of the box. When my dad or myself didn't take the risk, so when I was in Pakistan, I had some opportunities. So still I was waiting for the Italian to evacuate me, because I was in their list and I was accepting email from them. Beside that, I applied for different scholarship and I was accepted at American University of Central Asia. So I had two options: to wait for Italian to evacuate me, or get the opportunity to go to Kyrgyzstan and take the second master degree. So the risk of taking second master degree was higher, because it was easier to evacuate with Italian, but I was not sure if they evacuate me. And until now I didn't hear from them. So I took the risk and I went to Kyrgyzstan. It was a big risk, and also it was a big risk because some of our family members, they want me to stay and don't go to Kyrgyzstan, but I took the risk and I went to Kyrgyzstan. So when I went from Bishkek to Kyrgyzstan to US, so I took the risk. I went to Bishkek and I started a second master degree. So in my life, studying a second master degree is, but when we say be open to the different opportunities, it was an opportunity to start again, to rebuild my career path. It was a place that I start again. And when I was in Kyrgyzstan, I could support my family from that scholarship. I could implement some project. I could help Afghan girls to get some scholarship. I was preparing for that scholarship there. I was preparing and graduate from both. So that was my journey, how I made from Afghanistan to Pakistan, from Pakistan to Bishkek, and from Bishkek to the US. So when I came to US, it was another challenge. It is not like our life is always, as Abdullah also said, sometimes life is not fair for everyone. But still, when we are trying, we taking the risk, we get some challenges. We have to accept that challenges from the first point. If we don't accept the challenges, because it is not something that I didn't know when I go to US it will be like heaven for me. No, I understand that if I go to US, because I have studied, I had some research to the US. We were studying a lot about US, so I was aware of US life. But what I faced is being a refugee in US is really hard. Even if your qualification, they are paying you based on the refugee status. The cultural differences, it takes time that you learn their culture and they learn your culture. Lack of connection. So when you're in your country, you have a lot of connections. But when you're in a new country, you're facing a lot of lack of connections, but it takes time that you make connection. And lack of career experience in the US. So I had a lot of experience. When I was in 9th grade of school, I had career experience. So I had a lot of work experience in different parts, but they are seeking for US experience. High life expenses, okay, they pay you based on if refugee status, but the life expenses are high as others and high tax rate, not on the refugee status, but it is high. So the new life in the US. Experience, I have education, I have my language, I have my qualifications, but still I start from zero with all of my experience. Focused on different jobs beside my majors. So because I was a refugee, I decided to here in the US, I used thinking outside the box. So I connected with different people. I tried different jobs. So now I'm working in a law firm as a paralegal. I really like my job. I'm working with the best lawyers and attorneys in Indiana. Each of them have the experience of 30 and 40 years of being a lawyer and attorney. So I thought when I went to the interview, I told to the boss, I told her that I don't have the law background. And she told me, okay, Jamila, don't worry. What I learned from her was very good, because she told me, I went to law school, and what I learned from law school, I didn't use in a law firm. What I learned in a law firm is through the practice. You will learn through the practice, and I did. So I learned everything in a week, and now I'm in a learning process, and every day I learn something new. So we always learn, we always can do. And that is something that beyond my major. I'm with the lawyer for the hearing. I'm filing to the court. I'm going to the hearing with the court. I'm calling to the judge, talking to the judge, and talking to the people with different background. So it's really different experience for me. And when I was searching for a job, I used different job where I approach people, employers in person. I meet a lot of new to make action, and I help. I give my CV to my neighbors to give someone if they need someone. So, and beside that, I consider certified job. There is some certified job. Conclusion. And there are some points that we are need to take away. It is to start thinking outside the box from now. Start early, build your network, seek for internship, implementing some small projects, and setting some different goals. Be resilient in the face of setback. And it is important to take strong our student life. Thank you, everyone, for listening to me and my journey. Thank you so much for this opportunity question.
Thanks, Jamila.
Thank
So I have a small treat for teachers, former teachers.
But I'm not connected with Mujgan. It's like a month or 2 months, because they are not in social media. Yeah. Hello,
Okay,
Varun
yes,
sir.
yes,
How are you
yes.
doing?
I have seen 2-3 posts after a long time.
Yeah, I'm very happy. Very
Okay,
nice to meet
bye.
you.
Take care. Me too, after a long time
Thanks,
actually.
Jamila,
And
for
actually,
Yeah, Varun, you were saying something.
yeah. Firstly, Jamila, I through this presentation, I came to know more about you, about the background, about the challenges which you were facing or are facing after your masters. I still recollect initially when you had come for the masters program, and how a special series of lectures were conducted for as a preparatory, as a bridge course by Dipankar sir, Vidyut sir, Shravani ma'am, and all those things just coming. We went for visit to, I think, NDA or Mumbai visit, and I really I was seeing every one of you. You know how curious you were, clicking pictures and being here. But really the journey, doing second masters, uh, you know uh, taking risks it really it's inspiring. It's really inspiring, and really best of luck. Best of luck.
Thank you so much, Varun sir. It's really
Thank you.
nice
Just to
to meet
add,
you.
just to add what Barun actually said, I can still recall those days when you were three. Actually, they used to come to my cabin and start crying. Sir, we can't do it. We can't do it. And actually, it's not one day.
Yeah,
They did it almost a month. Every weekend they used to
yeah,
come.
because
Sir, we can't. We can't.
So
We have to leave. Otherwise, we
all
lose
are
our
a kind of
scholarship and we
witness
have
to
to go
that.
back our home.
yeah, but you know these
And right
challenges that we
now,
were faced after.
I'm just right now. She has achieved a lot, and right now, whatever she is presenting, she has changed a lot in terms of her presentation skill, confidence, everything. That actually, I'm feeling very happy that you have changed a lot in terms of your mental state. That you can do it, and you actually have done it. So that confidence actually is revealing through your presentation. I'm very happy for you. All the
Thank
best.
you so much, sir. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, that was our first, like, I always name India as my second home because India was the first place that I traveled outside of my country. So we went there for, we joined half of the semester. It was very stressful time. So we thought we will not be able, but these challenges that we faced after COVID-19 in Afghanistan, fall of Kabul. So it was like there were challenges, and that student life, they were not challenge. Yeah, it was something.
Can we open the
appreciated
floor
for
now
that.
for any further questions, queries, clarifications? The floor is open to all. Anyone can reach out to